If you missed out on Bitcoin's 11x bull run of 2021, or the 23x it soared in 2017, because you think most cryptocurrencies are a fad-driven mania destined to crash to zero, well, I've got news for you. You're right. A massive bubble is starting to form for cryptos. And when they eventually crash, unlike the stock market, 98% of these coins could go to zero, never to be heard from again. So if you've been kicking yourself for staying out of cryptos, and you missed out on Bitcoin doubling in the last few months, it's not just you. Some of the greatest investors in the world have completely avoided digital currencies, like JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon, who called Bitcoin a pet rock and a hyped up fraud. Although I'm not sure that's how he really feels, and more on that in a moment. Warren Buffett's right-hand man Charlie Munger called crypto investors idiots in one of his last interviews. Ronald Reagan's former economic advisor Steve Hanke said, "Bitcoin is a bubble. It has no inherent value and it is terribly overpriced." But while these wise men may be proven correct in the long run, in the short run, their advice is costing investors a lot of money. And that's why I recorded this video. I'm asking for just a few minutes of your attention right now, because this could be the last chance to build incredible wealth for yourself or for your family for a very long time. If you're over a certain age, it could be the last time. I'm talking about making more money over the next 6 to 12 months than most people make over an entire lifetime. Yes, the current crypto bull market is on the verge of a full-on panic, but not the kind that crashes prices. Instead, this appears to be a melt up that drives Bitcoin and other crypto prices into the stratosphere. I'm not talking about Bitcoin going to 100,000, a nice triple from recent lows. I'm talking about tripling that, and then potentially tripling that to $900,000, even $1 million a coin, all within a couple of years. If history is any indicator, smaller cryptos that get swept up in the mania have a legitimate chance to turn a small grub stake into a multi-million-dollar windfall before the whole thing folds like a house of cards. Look, I know this may sound unbelievable, but as I'll show you in a moment, historically it's happened 100% of the time in every asset bubble in history. Before there is a crash, there's a panic-driven run-up in prices. People who sat out will suddenly pour in, trying to latch on to the bull run. The same thing is on the verge of happening in Bitcoin and other cryptos. And if you understand how things will play out and position yourself ahead of time, you could significantly pad your nest egg. I know most people would like investing to be steady and predictable. You invest your money and you make a similar return every year, slowly but surely growing your wealth. But that's not reality. The truth is, there are some circumstances in life where you can make a lot of money at once and then potentially wait decades for a similar opportunity as the market drops or stays flat. Right now is that rare chance to fill your boots, to gather abundance. You can store away and live off for years in the future. This crypto bull market could soon turn into a mania, as investors who have stayed on the sidelines until now start piling into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and anything else they can get their hands on. And when that happens, prices will drive up in a straight line. If you harness this mania, you could make massive gains and still get out unscathed. And why am I so sure about this? Because I've seen it happen repeatedly throughout history. Take a look at this chart. This is a chart of another asset that saw an incredible bubble. It started out with a few enthusiasts and early investors, and then it grabbed media attention, which drove public interest. As the price spiked, everyone started piling in, and I mean everyone, from cab drivers to retired widows and anyone else looking to make a quick buck. This is what's called the melt-up stage. And prices can jump quickly, almost out of control. Look at this chart. In just a year, the price of this asset doubles, then doubles again, and then triples, before crashing down to zero. But in the 2 years prior to the crash, you could have multiplied your money 30 times. These days, this asset comes much cheaper. You can buy it at your local home and garden center for a couple of dollars. You see, this chart is the infamous Dutch tulip bubble of 1636. At the time, tulips were extremely unique in Europe and had to be imported from Turkey and all other exotic places. Soon the tulip became a status symbol, and prices rose higher for tulip bulbs. A complex derivative market was set up. Some folks even quit their jobs to grow tulip bulbs. Just one bulb would pay more than their salary. And so the price of tulips rose steadily, as you can see, at double in 2 years. Kind of like the current crypto bull market, slow and steady at first. But notice the year 1636 on this chart. That's when everything changed. To that point, only a few merchants and dreamers were investing in tulip bulbs. But in 1636, the Amsterdam and Rotterdam stock exchanges began trading tulips. Faraway markets were set up in France, Belgium, and Germany. Now these masses could get in without ever touching a tulip. The same thing is about to happen with Bitcoin and crypto. The masses now have an easy way to get in. I'll tell you more in a moment. But it's important to understand, you can't have a crash without having a melt up first, and you can't have a melt up without having massive market participation. The price of tulip bulbs rose 15 times in the final months of its melt up, before crashing down to mere pennies. I hope you can see how this applies to cryptos. Almost every coin in existence is doomed to crash and be relegated to the scrap heap of history's unwise speculations. But not before they melt up exponentially higher than right now. The tulip bubble chart is just one example of mania-fueled melt-ups. Here's another famous bubble from history, the South Sea Bubble. So in 1720, the British government gave one company an exclusive charter to trade in the South Seas. Riches of all sorts were promised, and the public began piling into shares. In less than a year, the company's stock jumped from just above £100 to nearly £1,500 in a straight line up. And then it all unraveled into a mess. Executives were arrested, ruined investors jumped off bridges, and the value of the company plummeted to nothing. Sure, those are good stories from history. But what about the modern day? Well, take a popular precious metal like silver, which has seen a handful of melt-ups. Increasing inflation drove the price of gold, and by extension silver, in the mid-1970s. As inflation spiraled, investors rushed into silver. And after slowly climbing 67% in 3 years, the price spiked 269% from July 1979 to February 1980. Before then, crashing nearly 90%. And that's the incredible thing most people don't understand. Every asset bubble in history has ended up the same way, crashing spectacularly, but not before a huge run-up in price. Every single time. It's completely predictable. The same thing happened all over again to silver during the 2007 financial crisis. We've seen the same story play out with the stock market over and over again in history as well. Do these charts look familiar to the tulip and South Sea bubbles, the dot-com bubble, the Great Depression, or even the Japanese stock market bubble of the 1980s? In fact, we've even seen Bitcoin go through two similar bubble cycles in 2017 and 2021. In 2017, Bitcoin soared 2,391% in a matter of months before losing 84% of its value. The same thing happened in 2021 as Bitcoin rose 1,146% in 20 months, only to lose 3/4 of its value in just a year later. But those crypto melt-ups pale in comparison to what's coming. And today, I want to show you how to use this knowledge to your advantage, even if you've never bought Bitcoin before. You see, until now, a lot of sensible investors have avoided cryptos. They're spooked by the downright criminal activity associated with Bitcoin, like the schemes run by FTX and its infamous, notorious CEO, Sam Bankman-Fried, or the hundreds of hacks that have lifted Bitcoin from innocent folks' wallets. Blockchain hasn't really found a home in our everyday lives just yet. And it isn't really easy to invest. You have to open a wallet, find an exchange, and it's a lot of steps the average investor isn't used to. So most of them kind of avoid crypto, which means a whole lot of people are still sitting out of this crypto rally. But it won't stay that way for long. Take this into account. The market cap for the entire cryptocurrency universe, every coin in existence, is roughly $1.6 trillion. NVIDIA, an AI chip maker, also sports a $1.6 trillion market cap. That's just one company. Apple, Microsoft, Google, and NVIDIA combined have an entire $9.5 trillion market cap. That's 6 times more than the entire crypto market cap in 4 tech stocks. Bull markets don't end with so few people invested. The crash only happens once everyone is in and there's no one left to sell to. At that point, prices go down, which leads to a negative panic as people try to sell before the roof caves in. As I showed you, Bitcoin and crypto participation is still relatively low when compared to the stock market. Right now, there's over $6 trillion of potential investment money waiting on the sidelines. That means this bull market still has a lot of room to run up before it comes close to crashing. And it's just gotten the rocket fuel it needs. Now, all of that stock market money can easily shift into crypto as the value rises. You see, Bitcoin and other cryptos have finally gone mainstream. On January 10th, the SEC approved the first ever spot Bitcoin ETFs. Champagne was popped all across Wall Street, all across the world, as giant mainstream firms like BlackRock, Fidelity, Valkyrie, and more were all approved in one sweeping measure. These are ETFs that hold actual Bitcoin and track the price. And they're offered by some of the biggest and supposedly safest Wall Street firms. For instance, BlackRock manages over $9 trillion. Now, instead of going through complicated crypto exchanges, which can often be hacked, most Americans can now choose to access Bitcoin through their brokerage account. The boost in market participation could be a game changer. These new ETFs could be like rocket fuel to asset prices because it widens the money that funnels into the asset. For example, the gold price soared 250% after its first ETF was created. Silver launched its first ETF in 2007 and the price tripled. Now the same exact thing is starting to happen to Bitcoin. Sure enough, investors poured nearly $2 billion into these ETFs in the first 3 days of trading alone. The Wall Street Journal says these Bitcoin ETFs will have an electric effect on the price of Bitcoin. I cannot stress this enough. Mom and pop investors have stayed out of crypto until now. It is far too complicated for the average investor to understand. The process of buying crypto is cumbersome. You have to open a wallet and then fund the wallet, which can take days. And then you have to find an exchange you trust and pay a whole lot of fees that eat into your profits. Now, firms who most Americans find familiar and trustworthy offer access to Bitcoin through one simple investment vehicle. Nearly 1 in 5 American adults have their retirement account with Fidelity. Over 45 million people. BlackRock manages over $9 trillion. They're the fattest cat on Wall Street, my friends. And those are just 2 of 11 different firms offering Bitcoin ETFs right now. This ease in investing is revolutionary for crypto. And that's why I believe these Bitcoin ETFs will ultimately be the spark that starts a 2-year melt-up in the price of cryptos. The experts could be right. 98% of these could eventually crash for good. but not before another raging bull market melt up. If this is the final bull market for crypto, it could be the most spectacular. If you missed out on crypto wins in 2017, in 2021, don't worry, because I believe the best is yet to come. Remember, so far, it's happened every single time. Before the crash, there is a game-changing melt-up in prices. But that's why it's important that you act fast, so you don't miss out on this potentially historic melt-up. Look, I know cryptos seem to have no inherent use or value to the layman, and the vast majority of these projects are worthless when you dig deeper. This is a situation on the same level as the tulip bubble, a disaster waiting to happen. And yet, just going on the past crypto bull markets, you could make significant returns in a short period of time. If you just buy Bitcoin, you'll probably do fine. In the last couple of bull markets, it rose 1,146% and 2,391%. But it's the altcoins that can really change your financial life. In past bull markets, we've seen legitimate gains like 9,400%, 17,556%, even 30,458%. Enough to turn $10,000 into $3 million. If you want to make the really big money in this crypto melt-up, you need to know a couple of things. Number one, the best altcoins to buy for maximum gains. And number two, when to sell to avoid the crash. And I can help you with both. My name is Charlie Shrem, and I'm one of the original Bitcoin investors. I'm talking way back in 2011. I bought Bitcoin when it was just $5, lost it all, then bought it back again at $20. It's up over 200,000% since then. I founded one of the first companies to facilitate Bitcoin transactions called BitInstant. And at one point, over 30% of all Bitcoin transactions went through us. We were generating over $1 million a day. I've been called a crypto visionary and Bitcoin royalty. Forbes and Bloomberg Businessweek put me on their cover. I've been profiled in Vice magazine and in a sit-down interview on 60 Minutes. I've given a TED Talk and been featured in newspapers all around the country. And I'm worth over $40 million almost exclusively thanks to my investments in crypto. I got into Steam before the launch when it was worth just a penny and rode it to a 64,591% return. I had some other big hits with coins I bought before launch like Syndicator up 13,748%, Litecoin up 3,054%, and Augur up 1,938%. Right now, I'm loading up on a special new crypto project. I'll tell you more about it in a moment, but this is the coin I really think will lead the way in this coming melt-up. And it may even be one of the only cryptos to survive a future crash. But you've likely never heard of this coin. That's because, once again, the talking heads are saying cryptos are going to crash any day now. They are exactly the people you should not listen to. They've predicted crypto's demise for years. One website, 99bitcoins.com, has tracked it. In 2018 alone, over 100 different media sources proclaimed the death of Bitcoin. Yet, it rose over 1,825% after that. Back in 2014, famed economist Robert Shiller said, Bitcoin is an amazing example of a bubble. That was when the price was just $797.71. It's up 53 times since. In 2016, with Bitcoin at $382, the Washington Post declared, "Rest in peace, Bitcoin, it's time to move on." It's returned 112 times investors' money since then. In 2015, Bitcoin's mortal enemy Jamie Dimon told the Fortune Global Forum that Bitcoin will not survive. Anyone who invested on that day would have made over 100 times their money, enough to turn $10,000 into 1 million. And here's the funny thing about that. Jamie probably made a lot of money on crypto as well, even though he won't flaunt it publicly, because JP Morgan created its own coin in 2019 and recently tripled the size of its own cryptocurrency team. All of these bigwigs are deep into crypto, even the ones who are publicly critical. Fidelity and BlackRock didn't just create ETFs. For years, they've been investing in crypto exchanges like Coinbase. Coinbase will be at the heart of all these ETFs and set the prices. It's the biggest crypto exchange in the world. Guess who owns nearly 10% of Coinbase? Fidelity, BlackRock, and another Bitcoin ETF pioneer, ARK Investments. So take a lot of these negative predictions with a grain of salt. In the background, these folks want Bitcoin and other cryptos to succeed. Do you think Wall Street is going to pull the plug and let the whole thing crash at $40,000 before they've even had a chance to profit off of a bull market? No chance. These people control the financial markets, and they are going all in on Bitcoin. So when you hear things even today like European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde say Bitcoin and other cryptos were worth nothing, or my old buddy Jamie Dimon, he doubled down recently when he told an audience that Bitcoin was a hyped up fraud. Don't believe everything you hear. Investors who ignored the experts' advice in the past have had a chance to make 100 times their money or more on Bitcoin alone. Look, eventually, all of these smart people may end up exactly right, but not before these cryptos make some investors a lot of money. These same folks are now trying to discount Bitcoin ETFs and warning this bull market could crash to the ground at any time. But they are wrong. My research shows there is a long way to go before a crash. Is the core of their argument correct? Maybe. Only time will tell. But over and over again, these folks have written Bitcoin's obituary, only to watch more and more people get rich beyond their wildest dreams. Over 88,000 people have become crypto millionaires. That's as big as the population of a medium-sized town. I should know I'm one of them. I've made and lost and made again massive fortunes in crypto by being ahead of the curve. And when everyone else is preaching crash, I say buy. People said Bitcoin was a joke when I pounded the table at $5 and $20 and made an eventual 200,000%. I wasn't just an early investor in Ethereum when no one else knew what it was. I've known Ethereum's founder, Vitalik Buterin, since our early days on crypto's message boards. We even went and tried lobster together for the first time on a whim. I bought into Steam before it's launched at just a penny, and I watched it soar 64,600%. I'm warning you, we're a long way from a crash. And if you listen to people like Jamie Dimon, you're going to miss out on something truly historic. Look, I'm a lifelong believer in Bitcoin and crypto, but you don't have to be in order to profit in the coming months. There's as much money invested in AI chipmaker NVIDIA as there is in the entire crypto market. Well, that's about to change. The spigot has been turned on and investors are already flooding into digital currencies. Thanks to the new Bitcoin ETFs, Wall Street investors who avoided crypto can now buy Bitcoin through their retirement accounts with a simple ETF. As prices rise and more people get interested, they can pile in quickly through these Wall Street-run ETFs. Already nearly $3 billion poured into these funds within a couple of days of opening. But that's just a drop in the bucket compared to what's coming. Right now, investors are sitting on a record $6 trillion, and large chunks of that are headed for crypto. As all of this money continues to drive the price of Bitcoin up, The panic of missing out on big gains will send more and more people rushing into the market until there's no one left to buy. Only then will we see a crash. But before that, we could see multiple doubles and triples from the current price. Not just of Bitcoin, but Ethereum, and a number of other easy to buy altcoins. In fact, I have a list of my 5 favorite cryptos for the melt up, and I'm going to get a copy to everyone watching this video if you'd like. Every one of these cryptos could drastically improve your financial standing. Experts have laughed at me when I made big predictions before, but as you've seen, I was right. Look, I'm going to give the media and some of these stodgy bankers like Jamie Dimon a pass. Blockchain is hard to understand, and things like the FTX collapse make Bitcoin and other cryptos seem like a scam to a sensible investor. Plus, once you're late to the party on things like Bitcoin, it's hard to admit that you're wrong. I found out about Bitcoin as a young programmer in 2011 when it was just $5. And I've ridden bull and bear markets to millions of dollars in profit over the years. I understand this could all come to an end one day, but today is not that day. Bitcoin has a lot more room to run before it enters collapse territory, perhaps many multiples. Are you willing to miss out on that? Because you're worried about a crash coming over some distant horizon? Obviously, past performance doesn't guarantee future results. We're showing you a number of examples from history, but the pattern looks the same because historically, this has happened every single time before a crash. The price of tulip bulbs rose 30 times in less than 2 years. The South Sea Company's shares spiked 15 times in less than a year. The NASDAQ nearly doubled twice in the last year and a half of the dot-com bubble. This could be what's coming for Bitcoin. A number of bullish events are happening as this bull market moves forward. First, there was the Bitcoin ETF approval. Now, there's the 4th ever Bitcoin halving. And each of the first 3 drove prices of all cryptos, not just Bitcoin, to the moon. What is the Bitcoin halving exactly? I'll keep the explanation short so I don't bore anyone. But crypto is mined in so-called blocks. Those blocks have a certain value in Bitcoin. It's a reward for the miner's effort. But after a certain number of blocks are mined, the value of blocks is cut in half. Again, this is all very technical, nerdy stuff, I get it. All you really need to know is that each halving event makes Bitcoin scarcer and hence more valuable. It's part of the unique design of Bitcoin as a digital currency. The halvings are meant to control inflation in the currency. Plus, they create insatiable demand. This mechanism is why Bitcoin is seen as the gold standard of cryptos. The next Bitcoin halving is scheduled to happen on or about April 14th, 2024, give or take a couple of weeks. In fact, it may have happened by the time you're seeing this message. Typically, the halving has been a godsend for crypto investors. Each time, Bitcoin has gone up exponentially in the wake of a halving. The first Bitcoin halving happened in November 2012, and the price jumped 8,500% in less than a year. The second Bitcoin halving came in July of 2016, and again, the price jumped, this time 2,985% in a year and a half. The third halving came in May of 2020, right in the middle of COVID, and Bitcoin's price rose 651% over the next 18 months. You might notice Bitcoin's gains get smaller and smaller with every halving. But in every halving, there are other new coins on offer, waiting to be scooped up as money pours into the crypto space. Like in 2020, Ethereum went up 2,067%, 3 times better than Bitcoin. Cardano spiked 5,466% after the 2020 halving. And Binance Coin jumped 3,591%. But remember, Investors in the first three halvings were at a massive disadvantage because there wasn't an avenue for regular investors to easily jump on board. Now, in 2024, that exists. Bitcoin ETFs will allow Main Street investors to pour in easily with the check of a box. Beyond just the skeptics, there are plenty of wallflowers who would get in if it was easier. The price of Bitcoin has already climbed 150% in the last year. Smaller coins are up even more. Origin Trail is up 205% in just 4 months. Ocean Protocol is up 220%. Solana is up 348%. But I'm telling you, this is just the beginning. A small sample of what's to come in the next few months. With the halving pushing prices even higher, more and more investors will experience FOMO, the fear of missing out. This will lead to more buying, which will only attract more and more until it's a melt up to the top. Remember, there's over $6 trillion sitting on the sidelines, and the Bitcoin ETF is the vehicle to get lots of that money into the crypto market. Like we showed you, the previous halving by itself was enough to turn $10,000 into nearly $500,000. But this time could be even bigger given the circumstances. You could see Bitcoin surge right past $100,000, perhaps to as high as $1 million a coin. Smaller projects could see even more phenomenal gains as you've seen already. But the truth is, it's not just the Bitcoin ETFs or the halving that will spark this melt up. There's an unseen force at work, and it seems to be the ultimate factor when it comes to crypto prices. When the central banks start cranking up that money printing machine, that's usually the sure sign of a melt up in crypto. In fact, throughout its history, never mind a halving or a trendy new coin, it's government money printing that seems to push the bull market forward. The Federal Reserve has been on an inflation-fighting campaign lately, so the money printing has slowed. But the Chinese got a head start on us when they opened up the coffers last year. China has quietly printed money for the last decade or so, but it ramped up in earnest in late 2023. In fact, I believe this is the primary reason for the current run-up in crypto prices. And now that the Federal Reserve is done raising rates, you can expect the US to start printing money heavily again soon. This will be like throwing grease on a fire for crypto prices. In the last few years, most of this free money went to tech stocks, which are seen as the best place for growth. But now, with the Bitcoin ETFs, it's just as easy to put it into crypto. This is the perfect storm. Bitcoin and other cryptos are on an upward curve. The two largest governments in the world are printing money recklessly. And now, Wall Street offers a way for regular Americans to get in on the speculation without the hassle of buying crypto directly. No more wallets or exchanges like my BitInstant. Any retiree will have the chance to become a crypto millionaire, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Lots of folks who have missed out on the previous crypto winners are going to rush into all kinds of coins. They've seen what happens when they sit out and miss winners like Ethereum, often considered the silver to Bitcoin's gold. It gained 3,701% and 17,506% in the bull markets of 2017 and 2021. Over 3 times and 8 times better than Bitcoin. Cardano would have made investors 94 times their money in barely 15 months. That turns $10,000 into nearly $1 million. And those are some of the better known names. Terra was a moonshot. Just 39 cents in late 2020. Barely more than a year later, it was $119.18. Anyone who invested could have made 300 times their money. $5,000 would have become 1.5 million. Already, 88,000 people have become crypto millionaires, and I expect that number is going to grow exponentially. If you want to become one of those millionaires, I think there's 5 coins that give you the best chance. If you'd like, I can send you a copy of this list today. The coming bull market is a perfect storm for tech enthusiasts because cryptocurrencies and the blockchain are quickly getting wrapped up with artificial intelligence. AI is essentially the ability to process large amounts of data at a rapid speed and then make decisions based on that data. So how do you incentivize that data to come in fast and truthful? You use blockchains like Bitcoin. Crypto is essentially AI's currency, and many, not all, but quite a few of the hottest new projects involve AI. It's no surprise. The advances of this technology are rapid. We've never seen anything like it. Some are saying AI could soon become a $15.7 trillion industry. Kathy Woods, ARK Invest, says it could even reach $200 trillion. You can bet money is going to pour into cryptos with use in the AI world. That's why I recently put together a detailed list. My 5 favorite AI coins. These are the coins I'm looking at for the crypto melt-up. I'm worth over $40 million, almost all of it from crypto. I first heard about Bitcoin at $5 and bought it again at $20. It's up 200,000% since. Just $500 was enough to become a millionaire. Steam went up 64,600% after I bought in for a penny. Ethereum is up over 17,000%. Augur is up over 1,938%. Now, I found 5 special altcoins, all heavily involved with artificial intelligence. I put them in a special report, my 5 favorite AI coins, and I'm going to give you a chance to get a copy. Look, you could just buy Bitcoin and probably do pretty good on this melt-up. You could even use one of the Wall Street ETFs. But that would be missing a big opportunity, a chance for many multiples more. And I think these 5 AI coins are the best chance at game-changing gains. I'm going to share all the details, including how and when I think folks should buy these coins, and at what kind of target price. It's all in this urgent report, my 5 favorite AI coins. How do you get a copy? Become a member of my crypto investor network. Cryptocurrency is my passion. I started mining Bitcoin back in 2011. I'm a founding member of the Bitcoin Foundation, dedicated to helping further Bitcoin and blockchain in our society. I've been called a crypto visionary since those days of hanging out in chat rooms with people like Vitalik Buterin. I've accumulated a lot of contacts in the crypto world. Roger Ver, one of the first Bitcoin millionaires, was the first investor in BitInstant, the exchange that I started, and from which 30% of all crypto transactions pass through at one time. That's me and Charlie Lee, the founder of Litecoin, and Charles Hoskinson, founder of Cardano, Bitcoin billionaire and founder of Tether, Brock Pierce. I'm not trying to impress you. I just want you to understand when there's a promising new crypto project, I hear about it first. That's why I've just put together a project called the Crypto Investor Network. Every month, I share my research and insights for the crypto world. Which projects are breaking out, and which coins could be headed for the moon. My team of analysts and I put together detailed reports on every coin we recommend, and we do it every single month in the Crypto Investor Network. When you sign up today, you'll receive 12 months of my crypto recommendations. Plus, I'll immediately rush you a copy of my 5 favorite AI coins. These 5 AI coins are all projects I've been following for years as they've developed. This melt-up is the exact time to pounce, and because of their utility, I think these coins could last beyond a crash. They have real staying power. You could legitimately turn $10,000 into $1 million on any 5 of these coins, perhaps all of them. Now, of course, you might say, it's easy to pick coins and watch them go up in the melt-up. How will I know when to get out? Is it possible to sell before the market crashes? Yes, it is. Because we have a secret weapon up our sleeve, a powerful software warning system. And it's proven its ability to accurately warn investors before a stock or crypto drops, and will give you access to this technology at no extra charge. You see, we've partnered up with a company who makes some of the most powerful trading software out there. Their proprietary algorithm for tracking cryptos is based on Nobel Prize winning research and evaluates over 3,000 data points to determine the future of a direction of a crypto. You can consider this your early warning system. It's called Crypto by Tradesmith, and you can use it on your laptop or even get it as an app on your phone. It uses a simple red, yellow, green, color-coded system to help you see which cryptos are in the buy zone and which you should sell or avoid. You'll get custom email and text alerts just for you, so you know exactly when your cryptos change into the red. You could save thousands in hard-earned gains by getting out early. You'll even be able to track the Crypto Investor Network model portfolio right next to your own. The Crypto by Tradesmith software can help you see at a glance how volatile your holdings are. You can even see how adding a new crypto would impact your portfolio before you buy it. And on top of my weekly advice, you'll have all the data you need to make your own decisions on when to buy and sell your cryptos. Now, the company who runs this software spends over $1 million a year to maintain it, and they typically charge almost $600 for a full year of access. But I worked out something special with them. I think it's just so important you have data backstopping your trades, especially in a unique situation like this crypto melt-up. You're going to want to know when to get out ahead of time. Access to the Crypto by Tradesmith Plus software is your early warning system, and you'll get access to this software for free when you join my Crypto Investor Network. This is your simple two-step plan to profit off the coming crypto melt-up. Step 1. Use my years of experience and research to make a decision about the coins with the biggest potential upside. And step 2. Use our early warning software to get out before the crash. Here's everything you get when you become a Crypto Investor Network member. Charlie Shrem's 5 favorite AI coins. I believe crypto is the currency of AI, and there are a few blockchain projects tied to AI that could soar during the melt-up. I've named my 5 favorites in this report. Any one of them could be the next Steam, up 64,600% after I bought it. 12 months of weekly alerts. I eat, sleep, and breathe crypto. It's my passion. And every day, I'm talking to some of the biggest names in the business, in chat rooms, in private lunches, on Zoom. I'm going to share what I learned, including the best up-and-coming coins with you every week in the Crypto Investor Network. These weekly updates come packed with information on the latest coins, my thoughts on the market, guest appearances, and more. Anytime alerts on all of our holdings. If any of the cryptos in our portfolio have an urgent update, my team of analysts and I will share it with you immediately and give you my take on the situation, including whether I think it's time to buy more or sell. Free access to Crypto by Tradesmith Plus early warning software. This proprietary algorithm can predict the movement of cryptos ahead of time. It will send you alerts as soon as something's changed with your holdings, so you can get out of the melt-up before the crash. Typically valued at $588, it's yours free with the Crypto Investor Network membership. And a bonus report, altcoin investing for beginners. Whether you're new to altcoins or need an occasional refresh, we've put together a comprehensive guide. We'll walk you through how to buy and sell cryptos, how to set up a Coinbase account, how an exchange works, where to store your crypto safely, how to avoid hacks and scams, and much more. This guide is yours as a membership bonus. And finally, our US-based customer success team. You'll get a dedicated line to our customer success team who can walk you through the details on certain coins or how to open your wallet. Please remember, they can't give individualized investment advice, but they are available 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday, to help solve any other problems. All of these valuable resources are yours when you subscribe. You'll be armed with the best possible information to profit from the melt up, and every month you'll get the scoop on the next hot coins from me, someone who's been in the crypto world from the very beginning. On top of that, we'll make you a 60-day money-back guarantee. If you sign up for the Crypto Investor Network and are disappointed for any reason in the first 2 months, simply call or email us and we'll give you a full refund. Remember, I was pounding the table on Bitcoin when it was just $5. Ethereum was just introduced to me and a small group of Vitalik Buterin's friends in a chat room. I got into Steam at just a penny before it went up 64,600%. If you've listened to my advice over the last decades, it's almost impossible not to become a millionaire. And I'm going to share all of this with you every month in my Crypto Investor Network. So how much will it cost you to join my network? Far less than you might imagine. You see, the point of crypto is that it allows regular folks like you and I to create game-changing fortunes outside of traditional finance. Let's face it, the only way we could get rich on the stock market is if we went to an Ivy League school and had rich parents who staked us out to a fortune. And then, if we were lucky, we might be able to double our money over a decade or so. Crypto is egalitarian. Anyone can put $500 into a promising new coin and come back a millionaire. It's happened over and over again. It's happened to me personally, and it's going to happen in earnest during this melt up. That's why today I'm making a special offer. Normally we would charge $199 a year for membership in the Crypto Investor Network. But today, we're going to charge you far less than that. Plus, your subscription is risk-free. If you're unhappy for any reason in the first 60 days, simply call or email us and we'll give you every cent back. As a member of the Crypto Investor Network, you'll get the latest in crypto from a well-connected pioneer who's already made millions. You'll be able to stay ahead of the crypto melt-up instead of sitting out the big wins because you're nervous. I'll show you how to get into the coins with the biggest potential upside. And you'll have our early warning software in your back pocket so you can be confident you can get out long before the crash begins. If you're interested in joining my Crypto Investor Network and getting the list of my 5 favorite AI coins, then please click the button on your screen and let's get started today. It will take you to our secure membership site where you can review the details of the offer, including the incredibly low price that we're charging. I look forward to having you in the network and enjoying the fruits of this once-in-a-lifetime melt up together. I will see you on the inside. I'm excited. Come on, let's go.